Hello, everybody. Welcome to a rainy Mindcrack server. Ooh, gosh, it be raining. Oy vey. Today. So let's look through all of our columns. We got some honey stuff here and some food stuff. Not as nature stuff. Vines, pottery shards. I'm gonna not think about those for a minute. Gas tears, membranes, rabbit feet, turtles, spider eyes. Might be able to make some prismarine stuff. Still need honey. Various coppers. Quartz items. Oh, we should be able to do some of that blackstone. Okay. It's a decent set of stuff to talk about today. Today, we are going to get super nerdy with it. Bringing it back down, y'all. I know, you didn't want more Doctor Who conversation, but you're getting more Doctor Who conversation. Do need to do this, though. Gorgeous! Gorgeous. Alright, so what's next? Blackstone and quartz? Okay. Speaking of the TARDIS, we're going to be talking more Doctor Who. The end of essentially our 3-episode mini-season came to a conclusion with The Giggle. And we're going to go full spoilers and talk all about the episode called The Giggle. Actually, really kind of just about the ending of The Giggle. Let's talk briefly about the first 2/3 of The Giggle, which are very good. And Russell T Davies, doing his thing, as it were. Is that a man? It's a little spooky, honestly. It's a little frightening. Chaos in the streets of London, as usual. It's not safe to go out in London. Anyway, bad joke. Because Neil Patrick Harris, who's a celestial villain called the Toymaker. And apparently people said we were dropping, because when the Toymaker first showed up, he was called the Celestial Toymaker. And me, and I think basically everybody else, assumed this was because... Or is it not a person at all? I'm scared. It's creepy. I'm pretty sure it's a piglin, but the ears aren't rendering. It's very, very unnerving, I must say. I'm unnerved. Coughing's a lot better. And they dropped that, and apparently Celestial was super old-timey slur towards Asian people? No, it is a villager. Well, you've made your choices. Weird. Which, I mean, the Toymaker episode, although he's not in yellow face like some other people in old Doctor Who, he is wearing a very Asian outfit. So, But then in this episode, we just call him the toy maker. But at one point, the doctor says, "Hey, listen, don't blow up Earth. I'll hang out with you and be your buddy forever, if that will stop you." He's like, and together, the two of us could be celestial. And I'm like, thanks, Russell. Thanks, Mr. Davies. But the kind of unused social commentaries, now it's in the 21st century, everybody thinks they're right. And the toy maker just turned that up to 11. Everybody thinks they're right all the time. And that's why they're all fighting and screaming at each other. Guys just rocking in the middle of the road saying, "It's my right, I'm right. It's my road, I pay taxes for it." Everybody's just so angry and self-righteous all the time and lashing out everyone. And this is a very cool idea. Good idea, even. I really love that. I was here for that social commentary on our society that Russell T, I think, does so particularly well. And then we just kind of dropped that for the second half of the episode. So, you know. But the toy maker, played by Neil Patrick Harris, of Neil Patrick Harris fame, does an incredible entrance into the unit, or like a group of alien fighting soldiers who work with the Doctor. An incredible scene in their base where he comes in lip syncing "Spice Up Your Life" by the Spice Girls, just trolling everyone. And it's good because it's fun and it is kind of horrifying. Like, suddenly he's dancing with Kate, who's the leader unit, and it's kind of fun. And then he just spins her hard and she slams into a wall, like really brutally. And two soldiers run at him and he just points at them and they turn into a bunch of bouncy balls. And one bounces into a character's hands and she looks at it and the face of the now dead soldier is screaming back at her. You're like, oh my god. It's also based around the apparently very real story that the very first televised image was of a very creepy puppet called Stooky Bill, the inventor of television. I actually knew nothing about how television was invented at all. Apparently in Britain. James Logie Baird, inventor of television. Yeah, so creepy puppet face, very real. Real. So, all that stuff was great. I mean, you know, David Tennant and Catherine Tate, so the best to ever do it. It's the Doctor and companion. There's two! Safe travels on your vacation. We get a little puppet show talking about basically everything that happened when Russell T Davies wasn't the showrunner anymore. Kind of pretty funny about, you know, Stephen Moffat's era. He loved killing off companions, but sort of not killing off companions. So they're like, Amy Pond, touched by a weeping angel. And the Doctor's like, oh, she died of old age. Toy Maker's like, well, that's all right then. And they're like, Claire Oswald, she got killed by a bird. He's like, but she still lives in between a single heartbeat, and she's out exploring the universe with Maisie Williams. The Toy Maker's like, well, that's all right then. And they're like, Bill Potts got turned into a Cyberman. Doctor's like, yeah, but her consciousness is cool, and you know, she's hanging out with her space girlfriend. The Doctor and Toyver's like, well, that's all right then. It's good. It was good, kind of, you know, piss out of the Doctor a bit. Unfortunately, as we also know, explaining to a lot of people what the hell happened in all those seasons. As for the Chibnall era, we kind of sidestepped the awkwardness of all his companions are fine. So we just need polished stuffs and a polished brick wall. Okay. Cool. But instead they talked about the Giganto Fluxo giant thing that destroyed half the universe. So anyway, Toymaker's attacking unit. Doctor's like, listen. Tries his whole "we can be celestial" speech. Doesn't work. So he's like, fine. Fine. I get it. Do you have to smelt this? You should just smelt basalt. Shoot me, and then, you know, he gets shot with a big old laser beamo. And he regenerates, except he doesn't regenerate. He bi-generates. And they pull Ncuti Gatwa, the next Doctor, out of David Tennant. And now there's 2 Doctors. So there's several different aspects of this that I'd like to talk about. So let's get through all that. The 2 Doctors defeat the Toymaker in a game of catch, which is kind of a cool idea, but then it literally, like, the ending is the Toymaker just, like, fucks up. Like, it's not like some escalate. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of escalating crazy, but the Toymaker just, like, takes his eye off the ball and he loses, and that's it. So, you know, could have been better. Neil Patrick Harris is great. I hope we get more of him as the Toymaker in the future. Also, my 800th item was this egg I randomly picked up. So, new Doctor Ncuti Gatwa is very exciting and sure of himself, and not wearing any pants, which nobody comments on. And he basically tells all David Tennant, he's like, listen, we've fought all these beings from, you know, Mavic Chen, who was the fucking kind of yellow face, guardian of the solar system and the Dalek master plan in 1966, in which only like 2 out of the 12 episodes survive, and the gods of Ragnarok from the episode The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, which if people went to look up Gods of Ragnarok after Doctor Who after an episode, they would probably be very surprised to find it's from Weird Circus episode. But we smelt you too? Yep. You get to live over here. Gods of Ragnarok, as Sylvester McCoy, I think, said. And he gets... I very much like that story. The one time I watched that story, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Sort of a Doctor Who parody of itself. Anyway. Oh, I was on... didn't need to smelt that much up. I was on item takeaway brain. Can never get it out of me. Okay. We love that. knocking a lot of stuff off. We'll be able to make a piston, right? Yee. Does it have to be cobblestone versus deep slate? Okay, so. Bitch have a slime ball? No. Guess I'll hold on to that. Yeah, tripwire hook. Tripwire hook. I always forget how to make this. Iron stick wood. Iron stick wood. Yay! It's a chest with a nasty little secret. Is the target block just hay? Yeah, really interrupting the Doctor Who conversation. Hay bale and redstone. Is there a hay bale out here? Make one at any rate. Yeah, and he's like, listen, we've been tired. We haven't relaxed ever and done any rehab or gone to any therapy. It's time. Why don't you take some time off, David Tennant? But I'm still going to use the Celestial Toymaker's giant hammer and his powers or whatever to get you another TARDIS. Ta-da! Now you both have your, but it's not like you're really going to use it. So but you have a TARDIS. And now I'm going to go off in mine, which has a jukebox in it now. And go meet my new companion and do my thing. So it ends with a very sweet scene about David Tennant relaxing for dinner with Donna and her family and saying, this is what I was saving. I saved the universe so many times, and now I know what for. While Shooty Gatwa heads off in his TARDIS. So let's break down a lot of the. Here's the thing. I don't entirely hate this idea. Like the scene of the Doctor sitting at the dinner table. I mean, it's so sweet. I mean, I think it's kind of cliche, but I really think like one of the best ways to end stories like this is just all the characters being happy, having a meal together. That's just lovers quarrel over there. I like it. I like that scene. Every Doctor to this point essentially has to end with dying, right? It's always got to be kind of sad. And, in the classic series is a little different because there wasn't as much focus on, like, the history or even really the characters, The characters were more there in service of the story just to tell sci-fi stories, and here's the crew of actors we currently happen to have on the TARDIS team, whatever. But let's go through. So, and I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of changing it up and saying, does every Doctor need to have a sad ending? And I brought this up earlier, like, well, like, what's the problem? Matt Smith's Doctor got to hang out for 900 years on Trenzlore, protecting the planet Christmas, and Peter Capaldi was a professor for a while and got to spend 24 years, just vibing with his wife. What's the deal? The thing is that we didn't, like, we didn't like have Peter Capaldi happen, and then we left Matt Smith still chilling on Trenzalore. But here's the thing: I'm not sure I would have hated that. Honestly, that would have been a good time to do it. It'd have been a good time to do it, especially if he was like old now, and especially actually I think that would have been the best time for bioregeneration, especially because in universe it was supposedly like the end of the Doctor's original 13 lives, which was some like big piece of lore from the classic series. The new series literally never mentioned until the one episode where they had to deal with it very suddenly and unexpectedly. So as if we needed more of you. Join society. Ugh, the hanging sign. And some of the cherry stuff we haven't done. Oh yeah, we could have done some of the Prismarinos, maybe. We didn't get that much, honestly. I don't remember what chest I put it in. That would have been a good time to do it. The bi regeneration. The issue here is mainly that they brought back David Tennant, the first ever time that a Doctor's regenerated into somebody they've been before, which you can kind of say, okay, it's an anniversary every 10 years situation. That's fine. But then, yeah, they do all that, they bring him back, and now they still leave him with the TARDIS. He's there, and you hear all these comments that I see from people saying, "Oh man, give me the spin-off with David Tennant. I want to spin off David Tennant." Or, "Oh man, maybe it looks like Russell T Davies is just gonna redo the 3 David Tennant seasons again. Let's fucking go. That's what I want. Just do it again. David Tennant seasons. Just I want them yet again. Even it's just frustrating because listen, I think David Tennant is one of the best. I have him, out of all the, oh God. I almost said, well, there's 15 with Gatwa now, but Tennant's in there twice. Then you got John Hurt and Joe Martin, who don't have numbers. So, out of all the Doctors, I have him number 3, behind Peter Capaldi and John Pertwee, who are just my vibe. But David Tennant is so fucking good. He's a great actor. He crushes it basically every time. He's my favorite actors. I've seen him in like 10 different roles. He's awesome. He's in the best MCU thing, which is Jessica Jones season 1. Yes, it's part of the MCU. Shut the fuck up, you fools. He's the villain in that. He crushes it. He's great. But this happened less in the US, because in the US it became popular and Matt Smith became the Doctor. So that's a lot of people in the US feel this way about Matt Smith. But in the UK and a lot of other places, Chris Eccleston was there for 1 season, then David Tennant was the man, right? David Tennant was that dude, and he was good at it. And people never really got over him. And even as Matt Smith, Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker, even if there are other people kept banging on the drum of, we just want it back, we want it back, we want it back. I just want the same thing over and over again. I just want the same thing. Just give me more of the same. I want the same. And I thought a major theme of the show is change and moving forward. And this whole thing threatens moving forward, threatens it. And a lot of people love it because they're like, is that not? Oh. Bedrock Edition only. It's this here. Okay. Cool. Sure. there is people, and they kept demanding David Tennant, can he come back? Maybe the Doctor can just regenerate to David Tennant again. He can be the Doctor again. It's like, no, the show, it's about moving forward, especially when you think about the big themes from, let's look at, this show's Rusty Davis. It's a big theme of the 10th Doctor, David Tennant's original final episode, is, man, this fucking sucks. I sacrificed myself because it was the right thing to do, but I'm pissed that I'm leaving. I'm pissed that I'm regenerating. This sucks. You get to the, which kind of made sense for the character at the time. I'm not saying that was bad. I actually think that was a good character choice. Oh, you can do some shulkers. Yeah, good character choice. Like, the 10th Doctor was kind of a dick, and that's kind of part of what made him great. But then you get to Matt Smith's final speech, and he gives this, beautiful speech about how we're all different people throughout our lives, and we're going to keep changing, and that's okay. It's okay. Like, he's going to change as long as we remember who we used to be. We keep changing, and that's fine. Yeah, great speech. And then, what is the whole theme of Peter Capaldi's departure? He doesn't want to change either, because he wants to just rest. He wants to die. He wants to move on. And then he ends up meeting the first Doctor, who he is horrified to discover before, the first time he ever regenerated was scared of regenerating too. And they find out that both of them are just scared about the future. And even though I don't think this episode is actually like that great, like, it just kind of just a lot of just like hanging out. That part is very good about the two Doctors both finding the courage to move forward. And then even, not entirely the same for Jodie Whittaker, but even her final line is like, whoever the next Doctor you are, it's going to be such a great adventure. And tag, you're it. And it turns out that next Doctor is it's David Tennant again. Surprise, it's David Tennant. It isn't somebody new. It's just, we really felt like we got to a place where it was all about the beauty of change and moving forward. And I don't even hate the storyline about the Doctor going, feeling like he has to go back and take a rest. And I could kind of understand it being Donna, if you can say, well, maybe it'd be too awkward to Chibnall companions, or Yaz doesn't really want to know the 13th Doctor's companion who is in love with her, maybe just doesn't want to know about the Doctor as a man, because that would be very depressing for her. And you could say, well, all the Moffat era companions, as we discussed earlier, are kind of all dead in some description. So he doesn't really have a choice but to go to Donna. She's the most recent companion who's not dead, I guess. But the fact that it's just David Tennant again really throws a wrench into the whole thing, because it just feels like the Doctor went through all that stuff as Matt Smith, Capaldi, Whittaker, just for the benefits of David Tennant in the show. And out of universe, it means people are never going to stop whining to have David Tennant come back. And he almost has to now. Especially if they're maybe implying that Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor is all cool because he went through the rehab that David Tennant's old Doctor is, and eventually he's going to just, disappear into pixie dust and fully become Ncuti Gatwa. I guess. Honestly, I was kind of cool, but the real annoying thing is that he also gets a TARDIS. I feel like it'd be so much more effective if he didn't get a TARDIS. Like, why does he also have a TARDIS? His whole thing is he's not supposed to be going out doing doctor stuff. He's just supposed to be vibing, enjoying the simple life. Why does he have a TARDIS too? That don't make no sense. That kind of undermines it, wouldn't you say? I'd say. That's honestly a big thing that kind of undermines it for me. People are like, oh yeah, a nice send-off for David Tennant. He had a nice send-off. It was good. It was real good. And I don't know, RTD dropped us with the I don't want to go as his final lines. The infamous I don't want to go. Which, Matt Smith's first season was very popular, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that did always kind of keep in the back of people's minds that they didn't want him to go either. I just think, you look at Hollywood always making the same story over and over again, or people just saying, what do I want from Star Wars? I just want Luke, being badass, shitting on people. That's what I want from Star Wars. It's like disappointing. Do better. Expand your horizons. Imagine more. I just feel like a lot of these people, like, it's kind of like the haters got proven right. The people that said, David Tennant or bust, he's one of many, many very good doctors, got their way and are going to keep asking about it. Now, I don't think RTD's dumb enough to actually do a David Tennant spinoff, because he knows that would overshadow Ncuti Gatwa, the main show. That's the danger about people always wanting past Doctor spinoffs. Like, yeah, just do a spinoff with even, Paul McGann's the only guy I could kind of work for, just because his doctor's in such a weird position, as everybody knows, that he never got a chance to shine on TV, and he's kind of like his own thing. But if you gave any of the new series doctors, if they're like, oh yeah, we've also got a new show with Matt Smith coming out, people are like, well, why would I bother watching the new Doctor when Matt Smith's still here, right? Who cares? I'm gonna go watch Matt Smith. You just gotta keep moving forward. I honestly think just a few small tweaks could have gotten away with it. I mean, you'd think maybe should they have had, the 14th Doctor in this story arc be played by somebody else, but that kind of really, because the whole point is, David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And he guessed, Doctor got his old face back because he subconsciously wanted to go retire with Donna. Like, I guess Donna's cool. Is Donna that cool? I don't know. As I said, there are some other people who are kind of not options because they're dead or something. But listen, this was all very inside baseball. But put this to rest, saying it is disappointing that Doctor, especially in the Peter Capaldi era, not really Jodie Whittaker era because it wasn't that good, but the Peter Capaldi era could be dropping some of the hottest sci-fi you've ever seen, the sickest beats, and people didn't care, and then you just dangle their popular actor in front of their face. People are like, ooh. It's like all the people who are like, oh, The Mandalorian. They're like, oh, what the best part was? When CGI Luke Skywalker showed up and just was shitting those Imperial guards. I was like, yeah. That's the stuff. No! It's not the stuff. Not the stuff. I'll stand by its lack of stuff. Ugh, I already had light blue. Oh well. Ugh, we do need to find one more blue flower then. It's like, I just wish viewing audiences would expand their brains, because let's talk about something that's it's always very relevant in life. I think it's the most audacious Doctor Who episode ever, and I'm not talking about Heaven Sent. I'm talking about the episode that follows it, Hellbent. Hellbent is the most audacious Doctor Who episode ever. So let's set the stage. It's almost kind of like they're three separate stories, somewhat controversially that they're not considered a three-part story, but officially they're three separate stories. Not that that really means anything, other than just for counting purposes by super nerds. Face the Raven. The Doctor's companion Clara gets killed. It is not the intention of the villain in the episode. She was just intending to capture the Doctor for her masters, and Clara gets herself killed. It's her own fucking fault. She gets greedy. She fucks up. She gets herself killed. She tells the Doctor, don't feel bad. And the Doctor's like, got some news. I'm going to feel pretty fucking bad. She's like, listen. Don't do it. Don't go be taking revenge on the peoples. It's like, I'm going to take revenge on the peoples. So not only does Clara die, the Doctor is immediately teleported away. And that's where you get Heaven Sent. He is put in this castle, which he gradually realizes is a bespoke torture chamber intended to extract confessions out of him. He is being chased by a lumbering monster that never gives up its pursuit. He can run to the other end of the castle, and it won't move fast, but it'll keep moving slowly, chasing him. This is the best episode of television I've ever watched, Heaven Sent. It really is. I'm serious. It's that good. It's that top quality. It was voted the best story of all time in 6 years of Doctor Who, and quite rightly so. So, Doctor lumbers through this castle, and eventually he realizes he'll have to give up the final secret about this thing called the hybrid. What the hybrid is it's a combination of two powerful forces that will destroy the universe if they're put together. Okay? Very important. A lot of people still don't get this. The Doctor refuses, and we think of the episode is because the secret's too dangerous, so he's being heroic by not telling whoever's asking about the secret. And he has to punch away at this wall that's 20 feet thick, 20 times harder than diamond. And he gets a few punches in before he gets killed. And when he gets killed, and he's mortally wounded. And as he's mortally wounded, he's able to go back up to the teleport chamber, and he's able to teleport in a new version of himself. And this process repeats for billions of years. The Doctor punching away at this wall. It's such a powerful metaphor, thinking about any problem you have in life. Just keep punching away at the wall. And he punches and he punches and he punches, and it looks like it's impossible, but he does it. He punches through the wall. He emerges on his home planet, Gallifrey. But here's the thing. The whole time, supposedly he wouldn't give up the secret. The secret was too dangerous. and that's why he kept repeatedly punching the wall. But at the end of the episode, he gives away the secret, and he says that people listening to him could still hear him. So what's going on here? Because what makes Hellbent, the following episode, the most audacious episode of Doctor Who, is it takes the greatest television episode of all time, and it is such a powerful, heroic thing that the Doctor does, and it says, you know what? He shouldn't have done that. That amazing, incredible piece of art that you witnessed, shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done that. Didn't need to do it. Because here's the truth. Here's the truth. He went through all that. I'm looking up Smoker now. Punching that wall. Just logs in a furnace. Because he had a crazy idea to try and save Clara's life. Crazy plan. He doesn't care to Time Lords. He shoots. He kills a Time Lord. I mean, he makes them regenerate, but it's pretty bad. It's still bad. Kills a Time Lord. He makes them regenerate. He breaks all the rules. He pushes the boundaries for a crazy experiment to go and snatch Clara. They freeze time right before she dies, grab her out of her time stream, so they can go on and they can live forever. But what it's really about is it's about grief. It's about grief, and I'm maybe going to write a long post in the Gallifrey Reddit about how the Capaldi era is just all about grief. But the Doctor's anger and his rage at his friend dying, and this is someone who he'd known for literally 1,000 years within the show. His anger at that, brings him to make all these decisions when he really just needs to let her go. He has to let her go. It's over. It's over. It is over for Clara. She's dead. The show's over. And that's essentially what she tells him. She made her choice, and she fucked up, but she knew the risks. And the Doctor's just going to have to live on without her. And yes, technically, Clara does get to live in between a heartbeat and go off and have adventures of her own in her own TARDIS. But in the show, it's kind of like she goes to heaven. The Doctor has to move on in order to let her be free. He has to literally forget the memories of her in order to let her live again. And it's such beautiful storytelling, and to this day, a lot of people still I don't even think I think Hellbent as an episode, it takes a little too long to get to this point. There's some parts in the middle where it's just kind of I'm not really sure what we're doing. The ending is just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful message about grief and loss and overcoming that. Okay, block of emerald, diamond, lapis. And that hybrid, the two powerful forces that would have torn the universe apart, could have been the Doctor and Clara, their love for each other that unfortunately was turning toxic. They couldn't give each other up when it was time. This stuff, it's good. It's good, and most people are just where was David Tennant, though? It wasn't David Tennant. One day, some Gen Zer and TikTok will be going through all of Doctor Who, and they'll hit the Capaldi era, and they'll be like, oh, a snore! Ha, snore! And then they're going to go, oh my god. Oh my god. This shit slaps. What were we thinking? How did our culture Forget this, and I will say, you fools. You fools. Need to make one of these. Bonk. You fools. It was right there the whole time. It was right there. You just couldn't see it. Just couldn't see it. Anyway, my point is embrace change. Change isn't always bad. Change is good. That's my take. Anyway, after like a year and a half of knowing he's going to be the Doctor, he's going to be the Doctor for real at Christmas. Shooty Gatwa, everyone! We love Shooty. We love Shooty, don't we? Okay, never mind. Let's not. Okay, what are we at now? Ooh, 8, 5, 5. That is a big jump from last time. Jumped 56 items. What happened in the year? 8, 5, 5. Okay, all right. So on September 29th even, we have a hard date. Emperor Lothair I dies after a 15-year reign. He divides the Middle Frankish kingdom between his 3 sons, Louis II, Lothair II, and Charles. I'm sure all of them would take that very well, and there would be no issues. Oh, and then also in Britain, King Aethelwulf of Wessex, who was on a pilgrimage to Rome, accompanied by his youngest son Alfred, divides his kingdom between his 2 eldest sons during that time. I'm sure that went fine. And the Caliph al-Mutawakkil sends an Abbasid army to suppress an uprising of rebellious Armenians and deports many Armenian nobles to the caliphal capital of Samarra, which is in central Iraq. It's the best preserved plan of an ancient large city. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. All right, well, thanks for listening to me ramble about Doctor Who. One last thing. Shohei Ohtani deferring $680 million. $680 million. He's getting paid, $70 million a year. No. He said, nah, fam, only give me $2 million a year. Defer that $68 million for 10 years afterwards. God. Illegal. I'm sure he's doing it out of like the kindness of my heart. You do not have to pay me this much. I just want to win. I do want to. But holy fuck. That shouldn't be legal. All right. Thanks, everyone.